I'm looking at Popeye. I know he wants to do it. You know you want to do it, bro. All I got to do is this is all I got to do.
Oh yeah.
He's feeling it.
He's feeling it.
Step back, folks. Watch out.
It's feeling good.
Watch yourself.
Harley Davidson motorcycles, the only motorcycles worthy of being in the octagon.
I love it.
Dude, I'm saving that one. I'm going to cut that out and put it on my soundboard.
I bet you are.
That is freaking sweet.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. We just do this as our intro, dude. Seriously.
Let's do it.
Now we better. I think we need to do this.
Hide the tag.
Where's the iPoppy, all that stuff?
Yeah, we do. Oh, you want to do it? Yeah, you want to do that?
Yeah.
Hola, papi.
Hola,
Ven y escucha otro episodio del LAB.
Nice.
Yeah.
We're really doing it now.
You know, that was a crazy intro right there.
Bye-bye.
Welcome, folks. Welcome all our bikeaholics out there that are listening. We really appreciate you tuning back in. Thank you for all the support. And thank you for returning to another
Loaded.
Oh, that's right. Loaded episode
Loaded.
of the Lab Podcast. This is the official law-abiding biker podcast, after all. Popeye, you need therapy?
I do.
Well, you've come to the right place, because this
Oh,
is the only prescribed therapy you will need. After all,
my insurance cover that?
pretty sure it will. This is a podcast for the motorcycling majority. That's right, the
99%.
in stereo, bitches.
Can you say that?
I said bitches, and I
I
can.
have to edit that out.
No, it's not one of the words. I can do it. This podcast covers everything for the law-abiding biker. So if you think you can handle it, mount up. Come along with us for another wild
Ride.
a wild ass ride.
Oh, yeah, wow. That's
Is that one of the words?
It is not, and I can say that.
We're having a list of these words.
I was not provided a list when I got here.
I wasn't given a list either.
Yeah, you might want to email.
Well, we might test the list.
Might want to email Apple. All right, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Law Abiding Biker Podcast.
Welcome.
Welcome.
This is Ryan Erlacher and your.
Low.
High-tech redneck.
I was going to say low tech.
I'm going to turn your mic off.
The high-tech redneck.
That is right. All right, folks. Hopefully, you are keeping up on the podcast. We had Popeye in the house
Popeye.
on episode 19 for the first time.
Giant mess. Giant mess.
Popped his cherry. He popped his podcasting
Deflowered.
cherry.
His Harley dropped the pennies.
So yeah, we covered a lot of stuff in episode 19, but it was that's Popeye right there. He is
That was good, actually.
it was actually good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Huh?
And him and Chewy, dude, they're coming into yeah. See that they're just accepting their nickname and going with it. I like that.
We got to get Chewy in here. His beard might clog up the mic, though.
Don't
I
know.
probably would. I get stuck in.
I think he might. I think Chewy might freeze up if you put him in front of a mic. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Get a little nervous.
Enough
huh?
booze,
Little
he'll be all
stage
right.
fright.
You're right.
Yeah.
He hasn't shown too much interest.
No.
I think.
I was
Oscar-
I've been
Oscar.
telling you for a long time. Get me in here. Hey, I'm ready.
I know.
Oscar needs to be in here.
Yeah.
President-elect. Get me up here.
President-elect from the Big River.
Hey, we got a good crew up there.
You do.
We got a good crew.
And
They're
Sarge.
all listening, right?
Yeah, Sarge. They all listen to it. Yeah, but I mean, you got Sarge. I mean, I don't. You know, everybody talks about nicknames and stuff, and obviously, I came up with. Well, you guys came up with Popeye, and that was my nickname for obvious reasons, of course. But
You're swollen.
yeah,
that's right.
he's swollen. He's a
But,
swollen
you
member.
got, you got Sarge, and it's like, look at the guy, and I go, I don't know if I ever get another nickname but Sarge. The guy has been Sarge.
Yeah.
Almost as
I
long
don't
as
know
I've
what to
been
call him.
alive.
Yeah, I don't know
And he
what to
just
call him.
looks old.
Well, hell, when you were at the OK Corral shootout with Wyatt Earp, I mean,
You can be called Sarge.
You can be called Sarge. I'm pretty sure. It's just, I mean, that's just what's going to happen. He's actually on a trip right now. He's coming back
Yep.
the other day. Did you guys see that post he
Dude,
put up
they
there
were
on
getting
Facebook of that whole
stormed on.
Man, they had to
Oh,
park.
yeah.
They had to park under an overpass. They had some serious hail and wind. Looked like about 60 mile an hour. In fact, I saw even on the national news that they were showing some serious hailstorms coming down in Denver, Colorado, and he was stuck in that.
I want to point
Coming
out
back.
that we rode through our hail and
Oh yeah, that's what you do.
rainstorm.
Yeah, Sarge, you got to belly up, son. You really got to ride through
Jeez,
that,
son,
Not really
right
sure.
now. You better nut up.
Yeah, really not
Damn
sure
it.
why you pulled over for that. You've got to ride through
Oh,
that.
my God.
Got to ride through that. Amateur. Pretty disappointed, VP.
Pretty sure if he's-
VP elect. Pretty
pretty-
disappointed.
I'm pretty sure if he
Yeah.
is listening to
Hey,
this,
if he's gonna get-
already shut it off.
Yeah, if he's going to get batched, he's going to have to step it up a little bit. That's the amateur stuff.
His wife's tougher than he is.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
It was only blown probably 70 and, yeah, made national news.
I heard
of-
his wife on the video saying,
6
"Let's
inches-
go, honey. Why are we stopping?"
Right,
Oh, yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Pretty standard.
Yeah, I mean, we're only looking at 6 inches of hail here. I mean, let's power through this. Not a big deal.
He's
So
fair
I'm
weather.
getting you guys back on track.
Right into this world
All alone.
all alone.
So
Take
we
your soul.
talked about this a little bit in episode 19. Obviously, Sons of Anarchy season
Crow flies straight.
6
Oh yeah, the crow flies straight.
is up and running. So
Perfect line.
I want to talk a little bit about Sons of Anarchy. All right, so Sons of Anarchy, I definitely want to talk about you guys. I plan on getting hopefully LD and Popeye and Lurch and maybe Oscar, whoever is available. I would like to really keep up with season 6. We're kind of going to turn this into a podcast. Obviously, we're going to do our regular episodes, but in between, I want to do real short episodes, maybe 20 to 30 minutes episodes that cover Sons of Anarchy.
I don't miss any episode. If I miss the episode because of football practice for my kid,
It's
I go
DVR.
straight home
It's
and watch it.
DVR.
Yep.
Yeah.
you can't run the risk of Facebook spoiling the episode.
Right.
In fact, the wife texted me here a little bit ago in the middle of the podcast and asked, "Hey, can I watch, Sons of Anarchy?" Which
No.
no, yeah, pretty much a resounding no,
You are not authorized.
no.
So anyways,
Put on notice.
what do you guys think about I was thinking of doing our regular podcast, but then a lot of people do podcasts on the side for TV series. There's a whole bunch of them out there, but I would like to incorporate that into the Law Abiding Biker podcast, where maybe we can just do a quick 20 minute, 30 minute
Yeah, let's do it.
recap.
do
And of course, where we can, we'll
20, well, the show's only 60, so if we did a 30-minute recap
Yeah.
of the show, that'd be half.
Well,
right,
the show.
but not really a recap, I guess. More,
Are we gonna do some acting? If we're gonna,
you might.
I was
role playing, things like that.
Right.
It'd be a little difficult on air, I would think. But
Yeah,
might
yeah.
be able to. We could try.
We'll
it
try.
out.
We'll try it out. We'll try.
we can basically have insights into the show or where we think it's going, or
Clay, put the gun down. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I was getting ready.
some of the plots, things like that. So hopefully we'll be able to bring that to you guys.
It's gonna be interesting here coming up.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able
People
to.
are going to jail. People
Yeah.
are getting whacked.
I know.
I think Clay's in the can.
they showed some pretty cool
They did. They did a pretty good job of that.
YouTube videos and some trailers.
You know what's good about Sons of Anarchy is the people who should get whacked generally end up getting whacked.
like True Life.
Yeah, right.
Except
You know,
for
yeah,
Opie. Opie back in whatever.
Opie should not have been whacked.
No,
That is
Opie's
true.
the man.
Yeah, Opie should not have
And
been
his
whacked.
dad was
He
cooler
got,
than
yeah, he
hell.
got whacked.
This
yeah.
is for Opie.
Yeah.
May you rest in
But
peace.
you get these
Opie.
people, yeah, most of the people, they get whacked when they should get whacked.
True.
And you're like, yeah.
The
I'd
council
like to see
member
that guy
guy.
get whacked. Yeah. Hey, you got what you had coming to you. Sorry.
Yep.
That's
Messed with
too
the
bad.
wrong
Yeah, that's
people.
right. Yeah, you got whacked. That's just what happens.
That's
what
what
happens.
happens.
What happens.
So anyway, what are we covering on this show exactly?
Well,
yeah, where are we going with this thing
I'm
here?
trying to keep you guys on
People
track.
got whacked.
Yeah.
You brought it up. What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
Well, I
If
am.
people get whacked, they get whacked. That is what happens.
In a specific way, I'm bringing it up.
Okay.
And, yeah. So I'm hoping that we can all, which we will, keep up on the episodes. And so hopefully you guys will see some podcasts come out that are regular podcasts.
Shut his mic off.
I'm going to have to. Hopefully, we'll get some regular podcasts out there on episodes of Sons of Anarchy and kind of just talk about them and where we think the plot's going and have some fun with it. And then people can make comments on the website and whatnot. So look forward to that. Hopefully I can get some guys over here to do that. It won't really be telling you what the episode was about.
We'll be here.
We'll basically talk about it and basically give some insight and some discussion on the season. And like you guys said, last episode, in episode 19, which I was not aware of, and you guys say that you have heard through whatever your media sources are, that they are going more than season 6.
Oh yeah, direct. I'm pretty much direct to the people who do
from
it.
You got that straight
Right,
across
pretty
the
much.
AP
No,
wire.
stand by.
Let's just look it up here.
This
We're
breaking news.
We're in the age of technology.
Lee Ridson, breaking news, says, and it is official,
We
100%.
are in the age of technology.
Yes.
We can find whatever we need to find.
So I was excited about
Leroy,
that.
first off,
Go ahead.
Leroy,
Yeah.
over here,
Copy.
Popeye
Go ahead.
has a Android, okay? So we're not going to trust anything his
Listen
phone
here.
says.
Listen here, son.
Second off, he didn't pull the phone out.
Yeah.
I pulled out my iPhone, and very first
5
thing,
years.
FX renews Sons of Anarchy through season 6.
5 years. 6 years?
True that.
Yep.
Through
so,
season 6. This is
This
season
is
6,
season
right?
6.
right.
bro.
So
Yeah.
your 5-year plus that you were talking about in the last
Oh,
episode.
so they only gave one. So
Yeah.
they gave 1 year.
Yeah.
I'm way off.
You're all screwed
I'm
up, dude.
way
You're a
off
mess.
course.
That's pretty much Android
Yeah.
versus iPhone right there, folks.
Well, I'm way off course.
So for our listening
Probably be
audience, I am a bit confused on that conversation right there. How many seasons do you think they're going to go?
Through 6 at least.
But I would bet they will go at least 1, if not 2 more. At least.
I would hope so. They're making a ton of money.
They are.
And they're not losing
Oh, yeah,
viewers.
it's big. It's one of the biggest things going on right now.
Right. And the auxiliary sales through merchandise are huge. You see guys through SOA shirts
Yeah,
and
how many,
hats
how
and
many
everything.
Sons of Anarchy shirts do you see going down the road?
Oh, tons.
Oh, yeah.
People,
Absolutely.
and this has started a whole new wave of people wanting to
I pay
become
this either,
people
man.
wanting to join motorcycle clubs.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
It has.
It's true.
Yeah, it's really brought a lot of that stuff to light. You know, I mean, people see that. I mean, whether it's true or not, I mean, it's not. But, you know, yeah, they do. They look at that and they think that's kind of true reality.
Yeah.
And they want to join some type of a motorcycle group or something.
Not really knowing what it's about. So I want to
Right.
make a correction because in episode 19,
Correction.
because I obviously pay attention, I make notes. You did state that you had read that it was going for at least through season 7. So we're not sure. That was my co-host there, my awesome co-host that
Probably fine.
always do their research and are up to date. Apparently, we're not up to date.
We're all kinds of messed up. Somebody's got to have better info than we do.
So, so at least season 6, and we will try to keep up on it. And I'm going to do a little bit more research. But anyways, there's some pretty good trailers, some pretty good YouTube videos out there, and hopefully our podcast will keep you up to date. So this can be your one-stop shop for all your Sons of Anarchy needs as far as discussions and things like that. And of course, you can get on the website and make comments, and we can get discussions going. So again, I have lawabidingbiker.com up, and as I always state, if you follow us on Twitter or Facebook, I always make an announcement when we're recording our episodes. And it was really cool because in episode 19, Larry Baxter from Homer, Alaska, got involved and was chatting us up on the website. And he actually truly did change and curb the show.
Blew the whole thing out.
He did.
Is Alaska in the same time zone we are?
No, they are an hour different, I believe.
That's what I think so too.
I think. I'm actually, you know what? I think they are. I think they're an hour.
Larry, are you
Actually,
Pacific
you know what?
Standard Time? Please email
boy.
us.
Might have messed that one up too.
Android,
We-
well, Android, check it, Android.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. Yeah, our facts are not. You might want to check our fact here. I think we're an hour different though.
So don't forget.
Used to work up there a bunch, but I think we're an hour different.
Okay, Android that.
Yeah, I'm not sure actually, but
I mean, of course you're not. You've never even been to Alaska.
I have not. I do not know the answer.
You're going to ride
that
there in
question.
2016?
Yeah. If we're planning a ride up there, definitely.
I think so.
We ride. We'll have our yearly ride for sure.
I think Larry would be a good source of information for the Alcan Highway Because I've heard a lot of differing information. It's paved part of the way. It's not. There's gas stops every few hundred miles. There's not. Larry's probably a good source.
Coolest thing about Law-Abiding Biker Media that I've found and doing this podcast is I've met a ton of really awesome bikeaholics out there that ride all different kinds of bikes.
Heck yeah.
From all different states. And Larry was nice enough he chatted us up on our website on episode 19, and I chatted back, and he certainly curbed the show. And because
he did,
he is from Alaska and is current in Alaska,
and he's looking up halibut fishing.
Larry, if you would leave us a voicemail or an email on, just say the highway again.
Alcan.
The
Alcan
Highway.
How do you spell that?
Alkan.
Alaska, Canada.
Yep, Alaska,
I believe
Canada
it's
Highway.
CAN.
The Alcan.
Oh, that's
Highway.
why it's called that. We have a lot in store on this show, and a very interesting subject. One of our listeners, actually, before we get into the voicemail, the first thing I want to go over is I bought a new pair of gloves, and in fact, Popeye, it was when I was up at your place.
Yes, sir.
We came up, and actually, the next day is when I got the flat tires.
Up at my hacienda.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
And
a little bonfire up there.
yes.
That night.
Well, the next morning, I had been looking at new motorcycle gloves, and I don't particularly like to wear the typical leather Hardy gloves.
Well, thanks for getting a flat tire because
I got the nail in your driveway.
I've driven that road once in my driveway. I've driven that road once, and you decided that you had to get a flat tire.
I know.
And
I've tried to ride it twice.
Yeah, right. The last time that I drove that highway, I think I was in maybe 9th or 10th grade. So it's been a long time. And you really screwed that up.
I
Just
did.
decided to get a flat tire.
It was the second time LD was trying to ride it. But anyways, I ordered some new gloves, Fox Bomber gloves. I don't like the typical leather gloves. These are more of a fabric type gloves. I spent a lot of time on this. I put out 2 tutorial videos, episode 1 and episode 2, basically when I get the gloves out of the box, and also episode 2 after I basically put 3,000 miles on them.
3,000 miles.
1,000 miles.
2,200 was on our trip, our Sworn Few trip.
Guys trip.
That was a good trip.
Another 700 miles.
That was
so
a good trip.
I really tested these gloves out, and like I say, I did a before when I got them out of the box, and then an after. Pretty good gloves, but you'll see I did have some problems with them. I ordered them through Rocky Mountain ATV NMC. So if you go to, we have a banner on our homepage for them. But they were $49.95 plus shipping, so $56.95. I've always had really good luck with Rocky Mountain ATV
Did
and
you
MC.
love it?
I did, and they arrived in 2 days on my doorstep.
Do you have a part number or anything so you can look them up directly?
I don't. I actually have a link directly to them. If you go to lawabidingbiker.com/bomber gloves, you can get the full written blog about them plus the 2 videos. So check that out. Good gloves, good price, but they did have a few minor problems. So check that out.
I don't like riding with gloves.
What kind of gloves do you wear when you're riding?
I don't.
You don't at all?
No.
Do you wear gloves, LD?
I have a pair of...
I'm Popeye. If I hit the pavement, I just skid along. It'll be fine.
Just grab a can
Probably
of spinach out of your saddlebag.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you get you betcha. Get that spinach out of the saddlebag, and then you skid along the ground. Fine.
I have a pair of gloves. 2 pair.
I do.
I've seen you wear them.
But
I've worn them. I've worn them too, though. But go ahead.
Rarely.
Sorry.
I can't remember the name of them.
Rare.
They've got the hard knuckles. They're almost like a
That's the
crotch
Fox
rocket style.
That's the Fox Bomber glove. They're like the Oakley gloves, because that's what I'm getting at. Is these Fox Bomber gloves are very, very similar to the Oakley gloves, but I think they're a little bit better and they're more bendable.
I don't wear gloves unless it's cool out.
Right.
I wear them for temperature control.
Okay.
I don't wear them otherwise because I don't have raised handlebars, so mine are behind the fairing.
Oh, so are mine.
And then I've got heated grips.
But gloves aren't for behind the fairing. They're for when
you go down.
bro.
Right.
Well, I don't plan on going down.
Well, how many times have you been down?
LD
Twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
Thank
are you wearing? Are
Just
you wearing
fine both times.
Yeah. Are you wearing the hard knuckled gloves?
Mine are hard knuckle.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah, I think they're Fly brand. I don't know.
Yeah, Prez, what are you wearing there?
I am wearing.
You got a hard knuckle.
I am wearing the Fox Bomber gloves now. They are my new gloves, and like I say, pretty good gloves. 90%. I gave them some 5 stars, and they got some 3 stars. But I am still currently wearing the Fox Bomber gloves that I ordered from Rocky Mountain ATV and MC.
I want to check. I want to check them out.
I do. And I don't know if check out the videos.
Yeah.
I did a very good thorough test, and I also show them. They're a reasonable price. They're very flexible, especially around in between the web of your index finger and
Can
your
they do
thumb.
the splits? Can they do the splits?
They can.
Okay.
I need to
so you
pull
can-
out the old bug slide there.
Yes,
I had
you do.
Yeah, I do. I had
Yeah,
some
what's up
stu-
with Dick Peters these days?
Yeah.
Nothing.
No.
How's he doing?
Yeah.
Fine. Just
Fine, just fine.
Yep, he's just he's a supporter of the show, and we've done several episodes, and I've done some blogs on.
Well, I had some stuff here
That's from
today.
Dick-
I was trying to get off some bugs that were
Before
on my
you
fairing.
do that, Dakota,
Go ahead.
he brings
Dakota
up Dick.
hyphen.
He brings up some Dick Peters, so I want to
Right.
make sure our listening audience knows.
Yep.
Dick Peters is www.dakota-shields.com, and I also have a banner on the Law Abiding Biker homepage for Dakota Shields. We did some reviews on the windshields that he sells for like $25 on eBay for street glides and road glides and touring models. But he also does the bug slide, which I also did.
Yeah.
If you do /bug slide, you can also get a review
So
on
there
that.
I was trying to get off some bugs off my windshield, or the fairing, I should say, off my street glide.
And the smarter of the two, he went ahead and messaged me.
And I did. I was asking what you'd like to do to get yours off. But he said, hey, the street, the bug slide stuff, boom.
Did you order it through Dakota Shield?
I do not have it at this time.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
He
you can come
just
out,
told you to get it.
When we finish up here, you can come out and clean my fairing, and then we'll.
Perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
And if you guys do want to get that bug slide, he is a huge supporter. Dakota Shield, he sells his stuff on eBay too, but he also has a website. Huge supporter of the show. And make sure when you contact him, you tell him that Ryan Erlacher sent you. And hopefully we're sending some business his way. Super good guy. So,
Guy.
we'll have to get you a bottle of bug slide. He was nice enough to send me one free to test it. And like I say, if you read my reviews and watch the review videos,
Here's good stuff.
very good product.
I contacted Dick through Facebook, talked to him briefly, and it sounds like he carries more than just a bug slide.
Oh yeah, just go to his site.
Yeah,
He
he's
carries
got
a bunch
lot
of stuff.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of stuff. I went on there.
That's
yeah,
that's where we got the windshields.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, the windshield.
But he-
That's how
yeah.
we initially
Yep.
got in contact with him.
He has more than
And
that.
you would think the bug slide would coincide with the windshields, but it sounds like he's got a lowering kit and some other stuff.
Oh, he
does.
does. Yeah, he has a lowering kit and stuff.
But anyways, make sure that you listen or go ahead and check the Fox Bomber Gloves, lawabidingbiker.com/bomber gloves.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good. And if you want to order a pair, there's a link there through Rocky Mountain ATV and MC. And again, Dakota Shields also on the homepage. If you guys order through them, our affiliates,
Bomber
we
gloves.
get a little bit of kickback.
They're great.
So
What's the better way
help
for,
us out.
for them to go through the banner or the show notes to get to that?
It doesn't matter. It's the same link. We will get to a voicemail, and I really super appreciate this voicemail. It's a subject that that's obviously a lot of people are concerned about. But not only
This is a good one. I read through this. This is a good one.
Matt Pass has been very involved with the show. In episode 19, he left 4 voicemails because I only allow 2-minute messages right now with my particular voicemail plan. But to get his whole message across, we did that. Very good episode 19. But anyways, he left another voicemail that we're going to play. And it was in reference to basically, being questioned by 1%er clubs and what constitutes a 3-piece patch and things like that. And again, if you go back to episode 15, we talk a lot about that, about how to handle any questions and how we handle questions if we were ever to get them, which we don't from 1%er clubs.
Tell them you're from America.
Yes, and just I wouldn't respond to them at all. But let's go ahead and let me pull up his voicemail, and then we can have a discussion about that.
Copy.
Hi, how you guys doing? My name is Matt. Feel free to use this recording or my first name in any of the podcasts if it makes it there. I am a military police corps veteran, have a law enforcement background, and come from a huge line of law enforcement bloodline. I had a question for you guys in regards to episode number 15. I hope I'm not jumping the gun. You may be touching base on this in a couple of the podcasts I haven't listened to yet, but I wanted to speak with you in regards to the fact I'm looking to start my own MC here in the Northern California area, originally from Southern California. And you guys had mentioned that as far as getting permission or talking to other local MCs or being harassed by other 1%er MCs, et cetera, that it really hasn't happened to you guys, things like that. I was wondering if you thought that the fact that you guys being 100% full-time law enforcement officials, law enforcement officers, added any value in regards to other MCs or other 1%ers resistance to approach you or to speak with you about it. With people like myself, other law-abiding bikers wanting to start their own MC, do you think that we would be approached more easily, or they'd be more willing to harass us, given the fact that we're not going to have a law enforcement cube or law enforcement affiliate on our cuts at all? Do you think that's added any value to the fact that you haven't been approached in that sense? And any advice you could offer us in addition on the subject matter that I'm bringing up today? The type of MC work is going to be open to military veterans, military police veteran, firefighters, law enforcement, et cetera, we are 100% law-abiding. But if you could kind of touch base on that, I greatly appreciate it. Just like I don't think someone's going to necessarily speed willingly in front of a CHP officer in fear they would get a ticket. Same merit and same value on whether or not law enforcement MCs are being approached by these other guys. Thanks, and have a great day.
I also received an follow-up email from Matt Pass. Again, thank you so much for being involved in the law-abiding biker community. He says, if we decide to take the leap to start our own MC, we have discussed to simply display our prospective club name, and I'm not going to tell. He told me what his club name was, but I'm not going to say it because I don't want anybody to steal it. On a top rocker, no MC cube. However, the bottom rocker will say Motorcycle Club. So top rocker will say their club name, center will be their art patch, and the bottom rocker will be a motorcycle club. So LD and Popeye, the basically, it's going to be in essence a 3-piece patch. However, on the bottom, instead of saying Washington like ours or a particular area or state, it's just going to say motorcycle club. He goes on to say there are some in the MC community who have stated that this is considered a 3-piece patch, and there are others who state that is considered to be a 2-piece when set up this way. We want to avoid territory, state, locations, etc. Can you guys touch more on what is the most standardized view on what officially makes a 3-piece patch? Even the service guys at Harley-Davidson and the other guys at our local metric bike shop can't seem to agree, and these guys are in constant contact with 1%ers and MCs. Last, being that we will be a mixture of law enforcement, military police, active and honorably discharged only, vets, EMTs, business professionals, state correctional officers, and reserve military, etc., we want to avoid being confused with a 1%er club or any club that wishes to claim a certain area as if, quote, we own it. As far as we are concerned, every law-abiding biker has paid taxes to maintain the roads we ride and do not want to get caught up with or associated with other clubs who don't share the same view. Hope this answered your question. Thank you, guys.
Good question.
Yeah. Along with the email and the voicemail, we'll try to give some insight into and answer the question. LD,
that's good.
What do you think about that?
If you clearly distinguish yourself as a law enforcement... Okay. Stand by for my music to play.
All on your...
Sorry.
Stand by.
Okay, if you clearly distinguish yourself as a law enforcement club or a LEMC, they're not going to approach you. And your reference in the voicemail to speeding.
Say
and
that part again, LD.
They're not going to contact you.
They don't want it.
If you reference yourself to a LE
Gotcha.
or a LEMC club, they're not going to contact you. Your reference in your voicemail to contacting a CHP officer or speeding by a CHP officer when you see one is completely accurate. They don't want to contact us. They don't want to be involved with us. They're in the criminal element, and people in the criminal element don't want to draw attention of the police. The attention of the police.
No.
So you're going to do everything you can to avoid that. They're not going to contact you. Now, your hurdle...
They know what we do.
Right. The
They
hurdle
know.
that Matt's going to have to overcome is in his email, he encompasses a lot of different people. When he says state corrections, EMTs, current military, past military, law enforcement, there's a lot of different people encompassed in that, and whether they're going to respect the law enforcement motorcycle club or the law enforcement cube on the back with all of that encompassed is going to be the challenge.
They're not putting an LE cube.
They don't have the cube, right?
Right.
Yeah, they do not have the cube.
That's going to clearly distinguish yourself to the 1%ers LE cube. Now he's not going to use that.
Right. That's his question. Basically, is
that's the thing.
He's saying he's starting a club, and
Right.
he's basically saying that, essentially his question is, okay, you guys probably don't get, which we don't. In episode 15, we said we've never been contacted by a 1%er club because
they don't want to.
Nor would we answer him. But his question is, okay, is the reason you guys don't get questioned by the 1%er clubs is because you are law enforcement and you wear the LE cube? He says, what about us? Basically, they're going to start not a full law enforcement club, but we're not a 1%er club. And his second prong to his question is, because they're not putting a state or a city, the bottom just says motorcycle club on their rocker. So top rocker is their name, center patch art, and then it says motorcycle club at the bottom. He's getting conflicting information on whether that is considered a three-piece patch or not.
I would
so
consider that a three-piece patch.
Those are two-prong questions, so let's deal with each one.
I would consider that a three-piece patch.
Yep.
There are three separate parts to the patch.
And so you consider that a three-piece patch, LD?
I would.
Why? I guess it's not territory, but
it doesn't matter.
I'm not saying I disagree with you.
It doesn't matter the territory, but the fact that it's three individual patches is what they're going to look at.
Right.
I think. I personally, that's what I think. I don't know if that's accurate, but that's what I think. And if it's three individual patches, that's how they're going to designate that, whether it distinguishes a location or not.
Right.
What are your thoughts, Prez?
Well, no, I agree with you. People just see the three-piece patch. They're not really concerned about whether it's territory or not. So they're going to see the three-piece patch, and they're really not going to take the time to read it when you're passing by. Bottom line is, so I would have to agree that regardless of territory, that is considered a three-piece patch.
When you're riding, you pass a guy with a cut.
Yeah.
Right. That's
Okay.
what I'm getting at. Yeah.
All you see is a cut. You turn and you get a brief glimpse of that cut as he goes by. Matt is from California.
Right.
So there's a ton of three-piece patches down there in all kinds of different colors. And he's going to have the hurdle of finding a color combination that doesn't meet any three-piece patches in his area, staying in his local area, because when he rides out of his area, he's going to have a three-piece patch, whether it has a location or not. And he talks about not having a location, or you explained to me that, and that's fine, but they're going to have a hard time. You're not going to be able to read what the patch says, I guess, is what I'm saying, when you pass the guy.
Yeah, and I don't think that, just that's my personal opinion. Of course, I support them on whatever they do. They're a law-abiding biker club, but I have to agree that not putting a area on the bottom doesn't really relieve you of the three-piece patch problem. So, yeah. So I guess the second prong to his question. So I guess we agree that that would be considered a three-piece patch. We're both in agreement.
I agree. And
That's just our opinion,
right? And
We're no experts, but if somebody did that around here, we would consider that a three-piece patch.
Even if you say you're going 25 miles an hour and they're going 25, so you're passing somebody at 50, you have a half a second to look back at their back, if you do have time, and you can try and determine what that cut says. And if it's a well-known club in the area, okay. If it's not, okay. But you're going to see whether it's a three-piece patch, two-piece patch, combination patch, whatever. You can determine that. That's about all you have time for.
Right, but even, let's just say you were behind him, it's still, and you could visibly read it, to me, that's just my opinion, it's still a 3-piece patch. I don't care if it says a motorcycle club or not. The fact is, I think most are going to consider that to be a 3-piece patch, right? So you're behind him and you see that underneath it just says motorcycle club.
You stop behind him at a stoplight.
Right.
If it's 3 individual patches, you're going to say that's a 3-piece patch.
Yep. So hopefully, Matt, I know that there's a lot of confusion out there, and apparently even in your email, man, you bring up some good subject material, and I appreciate it very much. So I know there's probably a lot of confusion on that. There are no rules or written laws, obviously, but it would be my guess, and I can speak for our area, that would certainly be considered a 3-piece patch.
I would agree.
So, all right, so that's our advice.
Matt, contact us directly if you have further questions, but you've gotten our advice.
Yep.
You can take it for what you will, but if you have direct questions on how our area operates, contact us.
Yep, and keep the voicemails coming and keep the emails coming.
We appreciate it.
Or any of your other people that are your brothers that are thinking about starting a club. We'd be really interested to keep up on that and see how it goes. Even a Skype interview would be fine.
Well, I think Matt's he's added a lot of content to our podcast over the last 2 episodes. He would be a great candidate for a Skype interview live during a episode.
Well, yeah, absolutely, and he knows a lot about metric bikes too.
Right,
because from episode 19 he talked about metric bikes, so he has a lot of information, and he rides a metric bike, so he's certainly more educated on that than us.
During 19, you said you would like to have somebody as a metric bike
correspondent.
Basically, correspondent. I couldn't remember the term.
Yep.
And he would be excellent in that facet because he has had both types of bikes.
Exactly.
Metric, American made, and he's built bikes with his dad, I think he said. And so he'd be great in that capacity.
Yeah, and maybe if he has a brand new metric bike, he can get all the specifications on it and give it some props on the podcast. Second prong, LD, to that question that we kind of need to answer is basically, I guess I would ask you, so let's just say, there are clubs out there that wear the 1-piece patch, and some of the questions are, obviously, are they less likely to contact a 1-piece patch? Well, as we know from episode 8, when we interviewed the Tempest Riders, we actually didn't talk about that interview, but another episode, Kill Switch, from that
Kill
club.
Switch.
Yep.
Like that.
A Kill Switch. He brought up, that they had been contacted, or if you are contacted, what should you do? So I'm going to ask you, let's just say that Matt Pass and his crew decide to start a club, and they decide to go either way. If they go with a 1-piece patch, I think they're more likely to be contacted if they go with the 3-piece. But
I agree.
As we know, Tempest Riders, I think they were contacted. I assume that based on their question. So what would be your advice if they start this club, whether it be a 1-piece or a 3-piece, and they're contacted by a 1%er club? And we talk about this in episode 15, and I'm kind of going to stick to my guns on what we said, but go ahead.
Here's my philosophy. You're cops, right? Okay, now
Their whole club
hang
isn't,
on. Now,
though.
hang on. Mm-hmm. You're cops. You deal with dirtbags every day. Dirtbags don't want to contact you. You don't want to contact them. You live in a different world. Okay? Now, you enter the world of mixed club. And even though we don't do it, I understand the politics of contacting your local OMGs that run the area. And that may be the best advice for Matt, just to keep himself out of trouble. You know what I'm saying? We don't associate with those types of guys.
Right.
We don't have to. Are they going to come to us and cause problems? No. Because why? They don't want the cops all over.
Right. And when they know we're not going to answer them.
Yeah.
Because we don't legitimize their world.
We don't put up with that. We don't deal with it. We don't want anything to do with it. Now, Matt, who unfortunately is going to have to deal with it to some extent because
Sure.
he's got a mixed facet, which I'm not disagreeing with. I think that's what
Right.
motorcycle clubs are basically. If you look outside the outlaw world, they're groups of people that have a tight bond away from motorcycles that want to continue that tight bond, whether that's people that have been in combat, people that have been in EMTs and they've been in the front lines, people that have been in cops and they've been fighting people on the
Amen.
street, whatever. They want to continue that tight bond, and Matt wants to continue that. So
Yep.
Matt maybe needs to contact the 1% club in his area and talk to him.
I wouldn't. Well, go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
I just think that. Now,
Right.
when we were ordering our patches, we were talking about it in the first place, I was tasked with finding a embroiderer that would make our patches. And I read a lot about it. And on our patch maker's website, he talks a lot about it. And he says, excuse me, I don't know your area. I don't know who's in charge of your area. I don't really care. I don't know what your involvement's going to be in your area. But we'll make your patch. Whether that's going to cause you problems or not, I don't really care. But the customary thing is to go contact the 1% club in your area. And I think that's something Matt needs to consider, whether that's wrong or right. In Matt's capacity, as far as he's talking, that's something he needs to consider. What do you think?
Well, that's why I like all the input on the show. I disagree with you in the fact that here's, my take is he's obviously got law enforcement background in the military, and he's got others in the club with similar. Here's my whole deal, and I understand your point. Trust me. I'm lucky because we're in an LE club. We wear the LE cube, so I can kind of blow it off. But I feel bad for these guys that want to start a club, and they don't have all law enforcement, and they're worried about being contacted. But the where I differ is I would never go contact a 1%er club and tell them anything because, again, you're legitimizing their world. And if, it's a different thing if they come to you. If they come to you, I was still, just me, even if we were starting a club like Matt was where it was mixed, I still, would not answer their questions. And here's my point, is before we started our own club, the Sworn Few MC, 100% law enforcement, we were with the Blue Knights, who are not 100% law enforcement. A lot of people don't know that. We had 10% of Blue Knights, if you guys don't know, and I love the Blue Knights. We still have a lot of friends, so I'm not talking bad about them at all. But they are not 100% sworn law enforcement club. 10% of the Blue Knights, if you guys don't know, to educate you, are civilians. They're honorary members. 10% of each chapter can be honorary members. So there's a lot of non-law enforcement officers. And if when I was the president of the local Blue Knights chapter, I would have been contacted by an OMG, even though we weren't full LE, I still wouldn't have answered their questions. So I guess, you have to make a educated decision based on your area, but I would ignore them. And if they came up to you, I'd just, politely tell them, I don't wish to speak with you. And my suggestion would be to, whatever information you have, contact your local law enforcement agency. There are OMG investigators, and let them know. And they don't do it a lot anymore. The OMGs, they're getting a little bit smarter, because if they're doing that kind of stuff, they're running into RICO statute, where they're intimidating and trying to control an area.
What's the RICO statute?
Racketeering influence,
Corrupt
organization. So, that there, I would just get a hold of law enforcement immediately and let them know your contact, what they were asking, whether they were asking, for your area. Handle it lawfully, but just respectfully tell them that you do not wish to contact them. Get their plate number, get whatever, get if they have a tag name on their vest, whatever OMG they're with, because believe me, law enforcement would love to know that stuff. It doesn't happen a lot as much as it used to, because they know that makes them, that really opens it up to RICO investigations when they're trying to intimidate.
Especially, like you said, if you have cops involved, especially if you have motorcycle investigators involved, get that information, pass it along to them so they can follow up on it. they will follow up on it. If you got somebody that's truly, I guess, dedicated or involved in the motorcycle world, they'll follow up on that stuff. And they'll find out who's trying to cause problems for other motorcycle clubs.
Absolutely.
Now the 3-piece patch, for me, I just feel like it's a little bit risky. Why not make a 2-piece patch if you're just a riding club? Or a 1-piece patch?
Yeah, but we went with 3-piece.
We did. But we're all
we're LE.
Right.
We're 100%
and
LE.
it says LE on the back of our vest.
Just my advice, and obviously you can tell me to pack sand, but my advice, Matt, would to you, if you're starting your club, if you're contacted via email, delete the email. If you're contacted in person, I would just tell them politely that you don't wish to talk to them. Again, get all the information you can and report it, because, again, there's not a lot of them doing that anymore, but you may get some wannabe guy that wants to make it up through the ranks calling you on it. But anyways, as far as a 3-piece patch, I think we answered the question that we do believe it is a 3-piece patch. Yes, you may possibly get some heat from it depending on what, exact area of California you're from. But I would go with what is right, and you certainly have served, and you deserve the right to ride anywhere you want with a 3-piece patch. I will say that. So anyways, yeah, hopefully we didn't avoid that question. But again, listen to episode 15. I reiterate that I think that's the best way to handle being contacted by any OMG club if you're unfortunate enough to have that happen. But go with your dreams. And if you want to start a club and you want to wear a 3-piece patch, whether it says an area or motorcycle below, it is a free country, and you are free to do what you want. Give me an America.
America.
All right.
Matt, just remember, at the end of the day, it's all about riding, hanging out with your buddies,
Yep.
having a good time, and enjoying the open road. And that's probably kind of a cliche, but enjoy the open road, the freedoms of riding.
Heck
and
yeah.
who cares what those guys think?
Heck
Yep.
yeah.
Ride.
Yep. And yeah, but it can be a very touchy situation. And so I appreciate the voicemail. I appreciate the email, Matt. Thank you for all your involvement in the law-abiding biker community, because these are the exact issues that people want to know about.
This is what we want to hear about.
It is. This is what people want to hear about. I've had numerous contacts and emails about it. So hopefully we can keep going with it. Do not forget that we still need 6 more voicemails. I have 2. We want to do the basically how to start a club from the ground up. It'll be basically a 6-part series.
We think it'll help you, Matt.
We do. And but Matt has already legitimately left several voicemails, and one of his counts towards the starting the club.
We think that there's people out there that we can help, and we can give you insight into how we started it step by step and legally going through the process.
Absolutely.
And we can
And that's
help you out.
everything from, bylaws to 501c3 nonprofit. I mean, to getting patches, to designing your patches. But it's up to you guys if you want us to do that series. It'll be about a 6-part series, but we will not do it until we get a legitimate. We already have 2. The bar was getting 8, so we have 2. We need 6 more voicemails with your questions about starting a club. Once we get those 6 more voicemails, we will produce I'll just say 5 to 7 part series on everything we did and how some of the things we learned and some of the advice we can give you on how to start your law-abiding biker club from the ground up. I want to thank my co-host. LD.
You're welcome.
And I want to thank my co-host Popeye.
Yeah, buddy.
All right. And I really appreciate you guys helping me out here, and for Popeye traveling down from the Big River area. Look forward to hearing Popeye on more episodes of the Lab Podcast, and maybe even some other voices. Appreciate it. Peace out, guys. Rate us on iTunes. Get involved on the website. Yeah.
Enjoy Sons of Anarchy in the meantime.
Oh, yeah, and we're going to keep up on that. So we're going to be talking about it, guys, so look forward to it. Keep the rubber side down and the
Shiny side up.
And just for Lurch, we're out like a trout.
You betcha, buddy.